Good afternoon. I'm Blair Wayman.
And I'm Dylan Traeger. Welcome to the Fast Five, presented by the Indiana University Media School.
It was a big weekend for Hoosier athletics. Indiana's Fast Five starts now. The Hoosiers are officially the first team to become bowl eligible after their win against Northwestern on Saturday. The Hoosiers' 41-24 victory was the first win in Evanston after 8 straight losses. It boosted them to a 6-0 start. Curtis Rourke led again with 380 passing yards, resulting in 3 touchdowns, followed by 2 running backs finding the end zone. Due to his standout performance, Curtis Rourke was voted Co-Offensive Player of the Week. Our very own Quincy Cofield has more.
Thank you, guys. The Hoosiers are coming off a huge win versus Northwestern this past weekend. This was the first game for IU without the presence of senior wide receiver Donovan McCulley. According to the Indiana Daily Student, a Hoosiers athletic spokesperson confirmed that McCulley is entering the transfer portal and has been removed from the T roster. McCulley, an Indianapolis native, came to IU in 2021 as a quarterback under Tom Allen before switching to receiver in the spring of 2022. This is his second time entering the transfer portal after initially entering this past spring, just a day after Tom Allen was fired, but returned to the school upon the Hoosiers signing Coach Cignetti. His role this season has been minimal after suffering an injury at the beginning of the season against FIU. Barring a change of heart, McCulley enters the portal with 68 catches, 849 yards for the Hoosiers, with his last catch being a 12-yard touchdown reception in the win against Maryland 2 weeks ago. Back to you guys.
Indiana men's basketball selected head coach Mike Woodson and players Trey Galloway and Miles Rice to represent the team at the Big Ten Basketball Media Days in Rosemont, Illinois. All Big Ten basketball teams had their coach as well as 2 to 3 players to speak with the media throughout the day. Galloway, now a 5th-year senior, seemed to have taken on a true role as a team leader, expressing how he worked heavily in the offseason with Coach Woodson to assist with recruiting in the transfer portal. Rice, on the other hand, transferred to Indiana in the offseason as a redshirt sophomore, playing just 1 season at Washington State, where he won Pac-12 Freshman of the Year after averaging 15, 3, and 4. Last Sunday, the Indiana women's soccer team capped off a 3-game road trip in Iowa City, facing the number 11 ranked Iowa Hawkeyes. The game was tight until Iowa's Maya Hansen scored the lone goal of the game in the 73rd minute, which ended up being the difference maker in the match. The women's soccer team returns back home on Thursday, hosting a rival school, the Purdue Boilermakers, at 7 o'clock p.m. Purdue enters the game with a 6-6-1 record overall, while having a 2-4 record in conference play. But at the end of the day, records don't mean as much when your team is facing a conference rival. The Indiana men's soccer team took a short drive to Madison, Wisconsin last Tuesday, facing the number 8 ranked Wisconsin Badgers. The Hoosiers took a lead 3 times in the match as Collins Oduru put the ball in the net twice. Senior forward Tommy Mihalik tallied his 6th goal in 10 minutes to make it 2-1, and Oduru broke a 2-2 tie in the 64th minute to win the match. Following the 3-2 victory, Indiana extended its undefeated streak against Wisconsin to 15 matches since 2014, owning a 9-0-6 record in that span. Last night, the team returned back home, hosting the Kentucky Wildcats under the lights at Bill Garrett Stadium. The Hoosiers were down 2-0 entering the second half, but the Hoosiers put together some late-game magic, scoring 3 goals in the second half, 2 from Tommy Mihalik and 1 from Michael Neske. The late-game magic was enough damage as Indiana was victorious 3-2. The team will stay at home hosting the 5-5-2 Penn State Nittany Lions on Friday at 7 p.m. under the lights.
The women's volleyball team remains undefeated at home after victories against Michigan State and Ohio State this past weekend. Their 3-1 win over the Spartans marked off their first Big Ten win of the season. 2 days later, the Hoosiers gained their 7th win at home, the best start to a home slate in program history. Against the Buckeyes, sophomore Ramsey Gary led the defense with a match-high 18 digs, and senior setter Cameron Hayworth recorded the 28th double-double of her career with 38 assists and 13 digs. The Hoosiers gear up to face number 14 Minnesota this Friday in Minneapolis, and they look to continue their home win streak against number 3 Penn State in Bloomington on Sunday.
The Indiana women's tennis team wrapped up their annual 3-day Hoosier Classic tournament in Bloomington last weekend. All 9 Hoosiers competed in the weekend-long tournament, and all 9 women came out as co-champions in each of their flights. The team will travel to Murfreesboro, Tennessee on Thursday to compete in the ITA Regional Championships from Thursday through Monday.
The Indiana University field hockey team secured a thrilling 4-3 overtime victory against Rutgers on Sunday afternoon. This marks the Hoosiers' first conference win since 2022, improving their record to 4-6 for the season and 1-3 in conference play. Inez Garcia Prado was the star of the match, netting 3 unassisted goals, including the game winner in the 62nd minute. As they gear up for the final stretch, facing 4 top 20 opponents in their remaining 7 games, the team is ready for the challenge ahead. Indiana's next matchup is against Iowa on Friday, October 11th in Iowa City.
And it looks like our 5 minutes are up. I'm Dylan Traeger.
And I'm Blair Wayman. Thank you for joining us, and come back Monday for a recap of this weekend in Hoosier Athletics.